him and asking him if I could touch the hair on his arm, and he started laughing. And he goes, well, yeah, go ahead, and I was just like amazed, And we became good friends when I found out that his only son, Stephen, and I shared the same birthday. Well, he also taught CCD at Immaculate, and then he taught at the junior high school, and then he went to the high school, and he did the police explorers and the fire, I don't know what the firemen were called, but a lot of his students went to become firemen and policemen, and he was also the baseball coach in one of our city leagues. And he knew like every kid. He probably knew every kid.
He's a great coach.
Great coach, just a great mentor. And then he ran for council and he won. And I can't say enough nice things about that man.
So with tremendous influence on your life,
right,
in terms of your softball and your interest in Colton activities.
Right. He was when they started the Colton Recreation. I think they had McKinley School, Lincoln, Grant, and probably Wilson. I don't think Paul J. Rogers was up yet. I know the high school had it also. And they had different people that ran this, and we did crafts, and we learned how to play caroms, and we did all kinds of athletic things as far as like the high jump, the broad jump, basketball throw, softball, baseball throw, football throw, all these things. And the one that would win, we got ribbons, first, second, and third, and fourth, and I think maybe even fifth.
So it was a well-organized recreational program.
So, very much so. And I still have all my ribbons, but they kind of got wrinkled. And one day I thought I'd iron it, and it shriveled it up. So
you better take digital
I didn't do any
pictures
more.
of it.
I didn't do any more ironing on them, but that was fun.
My next question was going to ask you, who were your heroes? And you mentioned two of them, Tony Kelly, and you also mentioned Jim Hayes. Were there any other heroes in your life when you were growing up?
Actually, Tony wasn't until later, but it was Alice Molina. Alice Molina was she went to school with my Aunt Teddy, and she was very involved at that time with the GAA, which was like your
Girls Athletic Association,
right,
okay.
Right. And her daughters went to Catholic school with me. And she had our sports program at our Catholic school. And in fourth grade, I was on the senior volleyball, basketball, softball team. And she says, you're our first fourth grader, that's on this team. And I was so proud because I love sports. And when I graduated from 8th grade, I was the first one to receive a sports trophy for my sports, being involved in all the sports for those years. And I was very proud of that, And then she was also my baseball coach, my first team. And I couldn't have been happier because the name of our team were the Dodgettes. We weren't the Dodgers, but we were the Dodgettes. And so she was my coach, and I couldn't have been luckier than to have her, push me along all this way and make me strive to be a better athlete and a better person. Because she was very involved in the Immaculate Conception Church, and so in seeing that, you wanted to be like that, know.
Okay.
And so, and she was very involved all the way into my adulthood, And then tables turned, and then she was helping me with recreation, with kids, and just, she was a real big
Hero for you.
influence.
Yeah.
Yes, she
A big
was.
hero for you.
Mhm.
You know, if we look back, growing up in Colton, how have things changed? How has life changed in Colton during the time that you were growing up in Colton, and even now, looking at Colton now? How have things changed? Or have they changed?
Well, they have changed in a lot of ways. And that is, first of all, I was very proud of being known as the hub city. And that was because of our trains that crossed. And then somewhere in the 90s, they took that away without putting it to a vote to the citizens. And I was really sad over that, because that was what we were known for. We were known for the hub city, and everything was with the trains, and the things about growing up was one of my boyfriends, his last name was Núñez, and my dad says, ¿De cuál Núñez? ¿De la calle O or de la calle whatever? And I go, Dad, you don't know them. You don't know his family. I'm telling my dad that. You don't know everything, you don't know him. And then my mom says, what's his dad's name? And I go, Tom. Ay, pues es el hijo de Tommy Núñez. Y trabaja con tu daddy. They work together, right? And I'm going, oh my gosh, And everybody was, pues, de la calle N o la calle M. Porque también tenían los Garcias ahí. So they knew everybody by their streets, who was who. And my brother, he lives in Georgia, and a lot of times he'll say, so do you still see like people? And I go, Dave, the one thing that is so good about Colton is that I can come to a stop sign and I'll see somebody and I haven't seen them for a while, and they'll go, okay, and we'll go have coffee and talk. Just like that right now, we're gonna go have coffee and talk, Or seeing the children or the grandchildren or the great-grandchildren, and you know who their families were, and that's really exciting, because you don't have that hardly anymore. In my street, when my dad bought his house in 55, there's still 4 original owners, and they were all from South Colton, and they all bought their homes with their GI benefit, their GI Bill. And one of them was in Normandy, one of them was in Germany, my dad was in Japan, and I don't know where Socorro Reyes was.
Socorro, his parents were from N Street, but I don't know where he served. I know his brother Phil served in the Navy.
Okay.
But Socorro was Army, but I don't know where.
Right. I don't know where he was stationed.
And then Socorro worked for the Colton Water Department for many years.
Right. He retired from Colton. And the other one, Bob Matos, he worked at the cement plant and retired from the cement plant. And his family was from Colton. The other one was Salvador Vasquez, and his family was also from Colton, and they lived on 7th Street, 7th and O, up on a little ridge.
Uh-huh.
And so, these people were all from Colton, and they all knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
They all knew each other, and here, now they're neighbors. And the kids, we all grew up with each other also. Bob Martis, his son Robert, is my compadre. Sal Vasquez, his daughter, is my comadre. And going to Catholic school now, Catholic school has a big influence on you. going to Catholic school in 2nd grade, I made my first communion. And Susan was in 2nd grade, and she hadn't made hers.
Now,
So,
who is Susan?
Susan is Sal's daughter.
Oh, was Sal Vasquez the band leader?
No,
Okay.
no. But I know that Sal. Sal worked for Santa Fe, he worked for Kaiser, and but I would give Susan her catechism lessons at home, and nobody knew that that's what we were doing. And so one day we went to church, and I said, okay, you guys are going to make your first communion, and we're in 2nd grade. And I said, and this is how you go up, and this is what you do, and okay, so we did that. So I'm your Nina. You have to call me Nina now because, I brought you to First Communion. Well, we walked home. She told her mom, I made my first communion today. Hijo. You weren't supposed to do that yet. You were done. Anyway, so they put him into catechism. So they got her into catechism. And then she formally made her first communion. I go, that's your second communion. I said, you already made your first communion. And don't you forget it, And so, that was a big part of what we did. And we would always be, we would be like the Supremes or the Beatles, and we would put shows on in the garage. And the kids from the neighborhood would have to pay a nickel to come and see us play. And Sal's wife, would make peanut butter cookies. So my brother's friends would go, not because they wanted to see us, but because those peanut butter cookies were to die for. They were so good. And so they would sit there and, clap for us and everything. And we had these little plastic guitars and, oh God, we loved doing that, And, all of us, as other families moved in, we still stayed very good friends with these people. And one of them were the Sendejas, and their son became a firefighter and just retired, a fireman.
What was his name?
Ray Sendejas.
Okay.
And he was from the class of 74. And again, James Hayes pushed him towards that. Another family was the Glovac family, and he had nothing but daughters. But his first son-in-law also, he pushed into being a police officer. And his name was George Gomez, and his family was from Colton. And, but just, we still have the second generation living in those homes, and we're still good friends,
An extended family.
Extended families. We all went to Colton High School, and we're still connected. We're still very connected.
Well, Genevieve, people don't believe that I still get together with my kindergarten friends 69 years ago for breakfast. The people do not believe that we get together as kindergarten pals after 69 years of being in kindergarten. So that's the type, I know what you're talking about when you're describing the relationship with people that you grew up with.
Well, Susan's been my friend since we were 2.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we're comadres, and her daughters and my daughters were really good friends, and her youngest son and my youngest son are very good friends. And so, it's continued, and we still are very much in tune with each other. And it's funny because we talk about a lot of our childhood. A lot of times we couldn't, if one of us was in trouble, we couldn't go outside. And so we would go to, like myself, I would go to the bathroom window, and our call, we would go, "Ow!" And they would hear it, and they would come to the bathroom window, and they'd say, "What happened? What's up?" And that's how we would communicate, or if they, did it, then I knew I had to go to the fence and go see what was up, And it's funny because sometimes when we see each other, we go, "Ow!" So, we just had a lot of fun. I see that now we are so protective of our children. Walking to school, I used to walk to school, and I was a kindergartner,
And you were about a mile away from Immaculate.
Well, for kindergarten, it was Grant School.
Uh-huh.
But I remember I would run. I thought I was Jim Thorpe. I would run because I never wanted to get caught when they still used to use that, the siren
Mhm.
for, that they would use.
Air
like-
raid drills.
Okay, the air raid drills.
Okay.
And I remember in kindergarten, one time I was right there and it went off. Oh my God, I think I flew to my school. I got so scared. So I would run to school every day so that I wouldn't get caught with that. But, you know, the kids have no idea what that is. They don't know.
So it's a
And-
different life.
It is a different life. We don't let our kids walk. They can't ride their bikes like we used to. They would be all over town
Mhm.
riding our bikes, you
You
know.
need another drink?
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, and I see it even more so now with the kids. You know, the kids can be 2 blocks away from school and they don't walk. They don't walk to school, they get a ride.
Mm. Mm.
So,
You know, we've been here a little over an hour. Is there anything that I forgot or that you would like to tell us, you know, that I completely forgot to mention during our interview? Or things that came to mind while we were having the interview?
you know, in high school, there was a contest. And what I did was I took a picture of every Hispanic worker, teacher at the high school. And I took a picture of myself in the middle of this, and then all these people that had some kind of influence in my life in high school. And I had a little string that would come from each one of them and where they came from. You know, and we won. My project won. I won $25.
Uh-huh.
But everybody where they originated from, some from Colton, Arizona, Mexico, you know, a lot of different places. And not only that, but then they got to say, oh, you were from there. And they themselves got closer because now they had something in common, you know. And I was very, very proud of that project.
That's a wonderful
You
project.
know, so, yeah, that was...
You were a senior in high school?
No, I was a junior in high school when I did that, but I was very involved with art. I took every art class you could imagine in high school, and Mr. LaPlante was my art teacher. And he says, how come you didn't do that one for us? I don't know, I did it for my English class, you know. And he was real upset. He goes, God, we could have won, you know, blah, 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 you know. And I go, but I didn't like his.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't like his project.
But, you know, getting back to your project, which was you in the middle and all these Hispanic folks around you. Very good.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed